there, it's Lizzie All from Old Stables Crafts again. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for pressing play and spending some of your valuable time with me. I'm doing this project a little on the fly. I started filming another video which went horribly wrong on a different project, which I'm actually now going to just do as a show and tell on my blog. And it was for this, but for a more Easter version. This is I did for Mother's Day, but the one that I was trying to video was for Easter, and it was already half an hour and was going horribly wrong, and I'd hardly done any of it. So you know what? There are moments when you just have to give up. So I did. However, I do want to do a video today. So in fact, I want to do more than one video today. So I'm doing this on the fly. This is going to be for an Easter project, and it's using our clear tiny treats boxes. You get these in a pack of 16. They're 2 inches square. And I just thought I would show you that when they come, they've got this film on them. It's so that the acetate doesn't scratch whilst they're in the packaging, but I've actually got one ready to go. You do have to make sure all the folds are well folded before you try and put the box together. But there is a how to put the box together guide in the packaging, so it's going to be okay. The other thing I just need to remind myself of is the designer series paper that we are going to use, which I stupidly haven't written down. You know, there are just I seriously shouldn't be doing any videos today. It's from the annual catalogue, and it's on page 172, and it's the Irresistibly Floral Speciality Designer Series paper. I think this is a miss. I think people miss it because it looks just like it's white. There is a little hint over here as to what you can do with it. It's been clear embossed, so it's going to act as a resist, and it is beautiful when it's inked up. It's actually quite special when it's not, because close to you can actually see the pattern. I doubt you'll be able to see that on the video. I'm hoping you'll be able to see there is a something. It's a really overcast day. It's not a great day for filming, really. I've got the curtain pulled back, and I've got a light on, and I've got the skylights, the blinds on the skylights pulled back, but it's still not a great day for filming. However, here we go. So putting the box together, it couldn't be easier, actually. So you've got 2 sides and a front and a back. The front is the piece you put in first. So you put that in first, then you put the 2 sides in, and then you push the whole lot down so that this tab here slips underneath this gap here, and in doing so pushes the 2 little tabs that were sticking out on the sides. It catches that as well, and there you have your box. You do then need to just get the flaps and push those in as well, but it's as simple as that. So what I am going to use this for is an Easter treat, and I have, for those of you that have watched my videos before, you will possibly have picked up that I don't get on terribly well with chocolate, or rather it doesn't get on terribly well with me. If I eat chocolate, I'm incredibly ill, and in fact even the smell of chocolate is not great for me. So this is amazing that I'm even holding these, but they are wrapped. These are just some mini Easter eggs. I actually got these from our local Aldi. No one could ever accuse me of being a cheapskate, but they're from Aldi. I have got quite a few bags, so I've managed to get lots of the same colour. Let's see how many I managed to get in. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I think putting a 12th in would be one too many, so we will stick at 11. But you can either just use the whole bag, multicolour, or as I say, I've picked out one colour because I think it's not. Actually, I'm going to change the colour I was going to use. It's not a bad match to, I'm thinking, Sweet Sugar Plum. Let me bring in one of the... Oh dear, I really shouldn't be doing anything to this attaches to a rail I've got over there. One of the things that I treasure most from when I first joined Stampin' Up, which wasn't that long ago, was this, which is a swatch sheet that my upline sent me as part of my starter pack. And I just think that when you're trying to match a colour, it's just great. So I was originally thinking Melon Mambo, but I think this is too blue. So I'm now thinking, actually, I'll go with Sweet Sugar Plum. So I shall put away the Melon Mambo ink pad and get the Sweet Sugar Plum. Which means I might have changed something else, but never mind. We're going to go with this. So Sweet Sugar Plum and a sponge brayer. Again, I'm not convinced that many people have picked up on the sponge brayer. Let's see if you can see everything. I've got this nice new non-slip mat that I've got underneath my grid paper, and it's wonderful. It really does mean that you can really have quite a go, and it won't slip nearly so readily. It was a real find in our local IKEA, and it's actually a non-slip mat that goes underneath carpets or rugs. And I think it was a massive £1.90 for 2 metres. So all I'm going to do is roll this over a strip which I have cut at 1 3/4. The box is 2 inches wide, so I've gone for 1 3/4, just so that there's a bit of a margin around the edge. So all you do is brayer over your strip. I think this is the full 12 inches. I will check in a minute. But yeah, so just brayer over. And I would do it in all directions so that you don't get too many lines. The brayers are brilliant because as the inks are water-based, it comes with 2 handles and 4 sponges, which is great because that means that if you're doing a lot of brayering on one project, you've probably got enough sponges for that one project. And then when you want to do another project, all you have to do is rinse out your sponge brayers, because they'll wash out nicely in water, and you're good to go. Just leave them to dry, obviously. I say obviously. Maybe it's not obvious, but I would leave them to dry. I've got a bit of fluff on my ink pad. I don't like fluff on my ink pad. I'm going to get ink on my fingers now instead. There we are. I've also got some glitter on my ink pad, but never mind. That'll be glimmer paper for you. On the subject of which, remember that Celebration finishes at the end of March, and therefore, if you haven't already got all the goodies you want during Celebration, I really wouldn't hang about, because I get the feeling that if things sell out, they're not going to come back in stock, because there won't be time to get them back in stock before the end of Celebration. So if there is something that you particularly want, I would get your Celebration order in sooner rather than later. Right, let's call that done. And stiff ink pad, pop that to one side, pop that on something that doesn't matter, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of kitchen paper that I just happen to have around, and then just polish the Designer Series paper to take any stray ink off the resist area, because it may just sit there for a while. But then if you polish it, it probably makes the tripod judder, and I apologise for that. Yeah, it's not bad match. I'm going to bring in the heat tool, just to make sure that's really dry. Except it's caught up under something under my desk, so that's always helpful. I'm going to put it on the first setting so the there are two settings. Let's go back. There's two settings on your heat tool, surprisingly called 1 and 2. So there's 0 off, 1 and 2. The 1 is just for drying. So if you're doing any, let's put chocolate out of the way, it doesn't really go well with heat. If you're doing any watercolour work and you want to dry it off quickly, then use 1. 2 is really just for heat embossing. I would recommend not using 2 for drying off. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's not really what it's there for. So that's beginning to feel a bit better. It just has sort of, not dampness, but yeah, dampness to it otherwise, because there's a lot of ink being put down on there. Whoops, wrong way. So that's that. Oh, just found something on the floor that I need to throw away before I forget that it's there. Right, so I'm actually going to run this so that it goes that way, because these edges I think are quite nice, whereas the top and the flappy bits are not so nice. So, and I said I was going to, yes, it was the full piece. So from the bottom, I am just going to kind of just begin. Make sure you can see. Yes, you can. Just begin to encourage some folds in the paper. And this is a really good thick paper. It's almost the same weight as the Stamping Whisper White, as opposed to the thick Whisper White. Right, so then just very gently, I'm going to press rather than really burnish, only because I don't want to crack the resist. So rather than run the risk, I'm just going to gently push rather than burnish. So there we go. Right, so with the bottom at the top, and the flap hidden, I'm just going to measure that up, and with my snips just cut to length. And I've actually cut off about 3 inches, just over 3 inches. So that's just so you can see this is actually therefore 9 inches, whereas the measurements would suggest that it's 8, because each side is 2 inches, but because it's got to go around the corners, it's actually a little bit longer. So I am then going to run some fast fuse along one edge, and then making sure I've got it where I want it, which I have, just fold it over. So there we go. Right, and then just to dress it up a bit more, I have pre-cut in Bermuda Bay in the Celebration glimmer paper, and I know it's bigger than the box, but I don't care. Actually, I might do it that way, then it's not quite so much bigger. So that's Bermuda Bay in glimmer paper. This is Standard Whisper White in with the Stitched Shapes framelets. And then I'm using, whoops, as my sentiment from the Sweet Sentiments stamp set, which is at the very back of the Spring Summer catalogue. I'm using the May Peace Be Your Gift This Easter, just because it's Easter eggs really. And then to tie the whole thing up, actually I will use the same Sweet Sugar Plum ink pad. I was going to use Bermuda Bay, but I think to tie it in, I think I'll use the Bermuda Bay. I could, of course, go for tone on tone and use the Sweet Sugar Plum glimmer paper, but because I thought this was actually going to be Melon Mambo, I was going for a contrast, but I think even so, I prefer having a bit of a contrast. So let us go for it. And there we go. It's at a bit of a jaunty angle, but that's fine. I don't mind a bit of a jaunty angle. Now, glimmer paper is notoriously difficult to stick anything to. So I am going to, let's think. I'm going to use some of the multi-purpose glue, but I am going to use quite a lot, and you will know that my normal thing is less is more. When it comes to glimmer paper, not so much. With glimmer paper, more is more, because you need to actually get into that surface of the glimmer paper. So I'm just going to push that from the back for a while. Oh yes, I've just covered this up. So if you're putting in an order for your celebration items, actually we're going to come in a bit from the edge. If you're just ordering one item, £45 qualifies you for one celebration item. Let me just eyeball that. Yep. Then you won't qualify for your own stamping rewards. But if you use the hostess code, which for this month until the end of March, so until the end of celebration, is UCCU KJFE, so uniform Charlie Charlie uniform kilo J Juliet Foxtrot Echo. Gosh, that brings back memories. So if you use that hostess code with your online order, then you will join us all on our stamping rewards. There'll be one order. There'll be stamping rewards for anyone who uses that code that we can then share. So you can get some free stuff, even though you haven't got an order that would normally allow you to have stamping rewards. So I treat you nicely, don't I? So if your order is, I'm just sticking this on top. You can see I'm just sticking this on top. If your order is over £25, you can only use the hostess code with me if your order is over £25. Then, yeah, use the hostess code. I'm just bringing out some enamel shapes. And I will use some of the sweet sugar plum. Then, yeah, so long as it's £25 or more, use the hostess code. If you go up to £150, which means you would get 3 celebration items, I'm just popping a heart there, and I think a couple of dots as well, just to kind of bring it all together. So, do you know, I have completely lost my train of thought. So yes, £25 or over, use the hostess code. If your order is over £150, don't use the hostess code because you get your own stamping rewards. If your order is over £25 and you use the hostess code, then you also become a VIP for my VIP club, which means you get a special newsletter, and that will include some free projects which won't be available anywhere else, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I would love to have you as a customer. I always send, for any online order, I always send a thank you card and a little handmade gift, and obviously if you use the hostess code, then you also get some additional free items too. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me today. So this is the final item, which I think just turns some otherwise really inexpensive Easter eggs into a really pretty little gift. You could have that on your Easter table, at your lunch table maybe at Easter. You could also make it as a Mother's Day gift and just put other items in here. For the boxes, I did have a quick check, and I will just double check. The boxes, I don't think actually claim to be food safe. Can't see anything on the packet. Let me just check in the catalogue. The bags, all of our bags, so they're all on this page. So clear tiny treat boxes, which is what this is, and I'll say you get 16, and they're only £6.75, so really not expensive. It doesn't say anything about food safe, whereas the other bags do say when they're food safe. So all of these, so these 5, and in fact there's 2 sizes here, these 5 and the really big bags that were in the winter catalogue but have been carried over, they are all food safe. This one doesn't claim it is, so I would be tempted to only use wrapped sweets in these, just in case. But obviously it's personal choice. But just so you know. So wrapped sweets only I would suggest in those, but if you're using the bags then that's great. And I will be coming back with some ideas for using bags as well, because it's in that kind of Eastery theme. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was, as I say, a bit done on the fly. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care. Bye. Oh, and sorry, I should have said, associated blog post will be linked below, as will there be a link to my online store. So remember, when you go to my online store, use this code. The code is also on my blog. So if you forget this, don't worry, it's on my blog as well. If you need any products, just pop over to the shop. If you've got any questions, by all means leave me a comment or email me. There's emailed contact details on my website. If you wanted to join Stampin' Up, and this is a really good time, it's always a good time to join Stampin' Up. During Celebration is an even better time to join Stampin' Up, because you get 2 extra stamp sets of your choice without having to pay. So £130 for products plus 2 stamp sets, all for £99 including postage. You could end up getting £200 worth of product. I would love you to join my team. We are growing rapidly, which is great. So I've got all sorts of exciting plans for what we're going to be doing over the next few months. And it would be lovely if you would join along with that. Lots of it's going to be via Facebook, so don't worry about where you live in relation to where I am, because most of the stuff will be via Facebook, although there will be some team meetings as well, and we'll try and find a central location for those. So thank you very much. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Currently, as at filming this, I've got 455 subscribers. As soon as we get to 500, I will be doing a giveaway, and it will be for current Stampin' Up product. So if you want to be part of that, subscribe so you know when I post videos, because it will be in a video. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye.